Hello friends, welcome to today's session over availability zone. So let's try to understand what is this concept of availability zone that is being used in Amazon so commonly. So in the last section, we had discussed about data center and now we are taking that discussion ahead to understand availability zone. So let's uncover the points. Let's look at the definition first. So an availability zone consists of several data centers, but they are close to each other and counted as one AZ. So data center we understood is a kind of physical location where multiple servers are hosted, and I also showed you the structure of data center. Now when these several two or three, or you can say more than two data centers combined together would make one availability zone. Each zone is backed up by one or more physical data centers. So each zone in a region has redundant and separate power, networking, and connectivity to reduce the likelihood of two zones failing simultaneously. So let's take an example that there are three different data centers. So that means three different physical locations. They are located closely to each other and they together form a one AZ or one availability zone. Now, when I say that they form one AZ, it doesn't mean they have common source of power supply. It's important to understand that they have separate source of power supply, networking, and connectivity, so that if the any one power supply, if there is a failure of power supply or any networking connection, there will be impact on only one data center and not all the data centers in that AZ or in that availability zone. So that is how an availability zone is kept redundant of those you can say failures. While a single availability zone can span multiple data centers, no two zones share a data center. So data center again, where the data is hosted. So availability zones have multiple data centers, but they don't share any kind of resources. Is what it simply means. Abstracting things further to distribute resources evenly across the zones in given region, Amazon independently maps zone to identify for each other account. Now, to take this abstraction to a level further, what Amazon does is, so Amazon, they identify or map these zones independently in different accounts. What I mean to say that is the US East 1A, which is a availability zone in my account, might be different than US East 1A in your account. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean, let's say these below are the three data centers. So you can see, and this is what I'm sure, the concept of data, you can say availability zone. Now, let's say this is one data center one, this is data center two, this is data center three. So these are physical locations you can see. Let's assume these are close to each other and these together form one AZ. Okay. Now, if you can say if this is one AZ and if this is US East 1A for me, so in the US there is a availability zone US East 1A. If I store or create an instance, it would be created in one of these data centers because this is that easy. But that would be different for you. And why is that? Because when we, there's a kind of human nature choice of selection. Like whenever we go with the zones, the very first option that appears is 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D, so on. Obviously, most of them would select 1A. Now, if Amazon Maps, the US East 1A would have been same for you and for me. It would have been in a case where, if my instances are created, let's say this data center is 1A, and all the instances or all the machine will be created on the same data center or same AZ, and the other AZs would be left unused, right? So to ensure that all data centers and all availability zones are utilized well, that's how the mapping is done. So US East 1A in my account would have, so again, region is same, availability zone is same, but the data center might be different. Or even availability zone there are different physical data centers. So my data might go to this data center, that is data center 2, but for you it might go to data center 1 or data center 3. So this is how Amazon ensures that the maximum utilization of all the data centers, and at the same time no power failure affects the complete availability zone. It might affect one data center but not to availability zone. So this is what I had for today's session. Hope you liked it. Let me know your views in the comment section, and also let me know your queries if there are any terminologies that you want to know in related to Amazon. I would be more of like to create sessions on it. And in the next section, we will be talking more about region. and we'll take this discussion further. So that's all we had in this section. See you in the next. Goodbye.